Hi, I'm Lisa, and this is Earth. We are in Socorro County, New Mexico. Currently, I think I'm in the town of Begita, I think. Okay, so where are we? We're in central New Mexico, south of Albuquerque. If you go down 25, it's along the Rio Grande, and we're looking at the area between the Rio Grande and the mountains here. Let's recenter. Now there are two counties here that border each other. Drawing a line to show where the county line is, roughly, pretty close. Below this line is Socorro County, which is known for not having a ton of restrictions. And above the line is Valencia County, more restrictions. So we're going to focus in Socorro County. Let's zoom in a little more and center. This is the area that we're targeting. Now, this right here is a giant dairy farm, so I'm gonna want to stay away from that probably, depending on the prevailing winds. This is the cute little town of Belen, about 20 minutes south of Albuquerque on Interstate 25. It's got a lot of charm and also a lot of the services that might be needed for someone living in this area. Is kind of a drive-through of the Bosque area, which is the green belt along the Rio Grande River. It's very quaint and pretty and just kind of lovely, not what you think of as the desert area. It's a very tight, contained area close to the river, of course. A lot of farms and agriculture in through here. The town of Belen itself is probably the largest town in the Bosque area. Los Lunas is a little bit farther north and is even bigger, and then farther north still is Albuquerque, which would have an international airport and everything that you would need, healthcare, that sort of thing. So we're winding through the Bosque, and the roads are getting smaller and smaller, still paved, but we're seeing little homesteads dotted along on both sides of the road here. It's a little bumpy, but it's paved. It's great. We're still maybe 10 minutes away from a Walmart or a Lowe's. Roads get a little smaller, and the homesteads get a little further and far between. Oh, that was my road. Okay, let's backtrack. Now we've turned down this tiny little dirt road toward the first property. It's pretty bad. Very washed out. Turns out Google Maps did me dirty, so I found a different way out that was much better. I'm out here bright and early, bright and ugly. Got some coffee at a cute little New Mexican place in Belen. It's cute. It's just a little rural Americana town. We're not far from the Rio Grande, so there's trees and vegetation. Of course, I'm out at the edge of it where affordable land is. Socorro County is known for having little to no restrictions. And so that's why I'm out looking at properties here. The one I'm at currently is going to be probably the closest to town civilization, whatever, maybe 15 minutes-ish away. This is 1.4 acres. There's neighbors. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the dogs. Good boys doing your job. Let's turn this around. There's the neighbors and the dogs. Hi, good boys. This is the 1 point, whatever I said, not quite 2 acres. There's this parcel and then another parcel the same size right next to it over there. I, of course, love the mountain views. There's a little bit of a rolling hill here that might stop some wind. Some more mountains and more mountains. These are the Manzano Mountains. There must be a fire because that smoke is not typical. I'm not thrilled about the lack of features. I am thrilled about the views and the proximity to civilization. I'm probably less than an hour from the Sunport, which is the international airport in Albuquerque. That's a definite plus, and something that many of the other properties that I've viewed are missing. All right, let's head out to property number 2. Venturing out into the open desert here. The roads are still very passable, clearly maintained. This looks like a wash and a community dumping area. Very sad to see, but in all of my travels out here today, that was the only instance of illegal dumping that I saw, which is saying a lot because I traveled a lot of miles out in this area. Hey, little buddies. This road is a mess still. Ugh, this is terrible. And then when I look to my left, oh, I could have taken that road. Anyway. Look, homesteaders. Okay, I'm out here at the second property in Socorro County. It's 2.3 acres. Long way down a dirt road that is decent. It would definitely wash out in the winter or in monsoon season, but you know, I might get trapped for a day or two, but I'd be prepared for that no matter where I was. It's really pretty out here. There are a lot of campers and schoolies just kind of dotting the landscape. There's some shipping containers. A lot of people out here doing exactly what I'm hoping to do. So that's encouraging. Let's turn this around so you can. All right, so the 2.3 acres is in this general area. There aren't really any stakes that I can see as far as where the corners are. There aren't any stakes on a lot of these properties, so I wonder how many of these people are guessing. Okay, so as we can see, there are still some beautiful mountain views. That bump over there is called Black Mesa, I believe. No, not Black Mesa. Black Butte. Black Mesa is north of Albuquerque. I mean, there's evidence that this might be a low-lying area. I would definitely need to check the flood plain information. It's really pretty out here. I'm sure it would get crazy windstorm-wise. And the road, sorry, it's hard to see the viewfinder here in this much light, so I'm hoping I'm catching. It's probably 5 miles of road like that. None of it crazy. There are a few washboard spots and some places where it washed out. It looks like people just made little roads to go around. All right, this is parcel number 2. The first one I looked at was way overpriced. I mean, it was very close to pavement, very close to civilization, but if it were half the price, it might be doable. There's also, the map shows a lake, probably a part-time lake, kind of over there. If it's on the property, that would be great for catchment. Didn't think that this would be kind of a contender area, just because of that it's so flat and featureless. And I want trees and mountains, but I don't hate it. And the fact that it is so close to services is a real plus. There's a mountain. Okay, headed out to our next property. There are strangely little clusters of people. Maybe they know each other, maybe those are just good areas. But you'll see miles and miles of no one, and then all of a sudden, a cluster of people. It's kind of curious. This is property number 3. It's 2 acres. One of them is fenced. There is some infrastructure. There's an IBC tote set up for a little makeshift shower, a little shed, an abandoned RV. It's closer to the mountains, which is definite bonus. There are neighbors quite close as well. So I like the placement, the area, but it's a little too neighbory, and the infrastructure, it's all pretty beat up and would need a lot of care. I'm not sure that the infrastructure is an actual bonus. I had hopes for this place, but now I'm not sure. I'm also not sure which is the other 2 acres. Maybe behind, maybe next to. It just feels a little too people-y here. Okay, onward. I don't know if you noticed my voice get a little softer, but it's because I could hear the neighbors speaking. I wasn't sure if it was to me, so I just skedaddled because it was not a good feeling. Right, I'm out here at what I think is my final property. There might be another one, maybe not. I'm out here at the final property that I'm looking at today. This one is almost 7 acres. It's pretty far from civilization. All dirt roads, all not horrible dirt roads, but I'm more up against the mountains, and the neighbors are fewer and more far between. Here's some mountainous views. This is the 7 acres. I assume that guy is on the other side. Again, the markers out here aren't great, and so a survey would be pretty important, I think. But the neighbors are all pretty far. Like, you know, they're visible. And there's Black Butte right there. There's a pass through the mountains and the Manzanos. See, somebody over there has planted trees and stuff. So The land is hospitable to those kinds of things. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, which is surprising. Some tracks, probably cattle. I'm really surprised at myself. I'm surprised that I'm considering this area. The price is pretty good for this piece of land, especially with it being so big. The size of it would keep neighbors at bay for a while. It would be a lot to fence. I'm actually been looking into getting some grants from the USDA EQIP program to help maybe rehab the land somewhat. It's really pretty, and the views are really pretty, and I know they'd be even prettier on a clear day. The convenience of it being so close. This is maybe a little over an hour from the Albuquerque airport. Man, I keep making my decision even harder. Okay, so that's today's little excursion. My brain is going a mile a minute, even though my mouth isn't. I may be quiet, but my brain is so loud. Who'd have thought? Socorro County might be the one. I have several videos lined up. Next week, I'm buying a truck. Saying goodbye to my little car, which I'll miss. Some things I won't miss, like it's very surveillance oriented. It's Big Brother. My car is kind of a nag. So I will be glad to get out of a more computerized car and back into one that I'm driving and isn't driving me. I'm going to buy a truck that can pull 10,000, 11,000 pounds, and then I will need to buy an RV that fits within that. And I'm familiar with the 80% rule. Only load your vehicle down 80% of its capacity, and then it's a way to stay out of trouble. I don't want any trouble. It's still scary, but it's kind of exciting scary, if that makes sense. Another bonus to these properties in here is that there is good, strong 5G service. And this last property, the 7-acre property, is only maybe a mile, a little over a mile, to a paved highway. So the access is pretty good. And then I got home and looked it up and realized that the coordinates on the listing were incorrect. That 7-acre property was not where I thought it was. It was actually pretty darn close to that giant dairy farm. No wonder the price was good. So anyway, the search continues. The clock is ticking and I have 3 months left to figure it out. Please like and subscribe. That's totally free and really does help me out a lot. And consider a membership if that's something that interests you. There are 3 membership tiers with some cool perks that you can check out by clicking on the join button. Thank you for coming along for the ride. I'm grateful for each of you, and I hope you have a wonderful week.